many iron sharpens iron shirts do you have?
Just one. I'm hoping it gets a little thinner as I keep washing it, but it doesn't seem to have done that just yet. So hopefully, Coach Brady, if he can get us another one, he gets one a little bit thinner here. That some of these warmer days, maybe we can switch up a little bit. But it's what it's all about for us, even more so this year than I think than any of the past. And I mean that because of all the expectations and things like that, and some of the high-end guys that have left, and you're trying to create that competition and made those guys what they are. And and it's not like you've got 3 or 4 games to kind of get rolling and before you get into the league play. September 3rd we got to be ready to roll. So that whole mentality and focus about our first 9, 10, 11, 12 practices are going to be a grind. And the guys I think understand that. Sometimes as they get into it, they forget about it a little bit. But by nature, they all know that we got to make each other better, back and forth, just like today.
You tackled today. It was a lot of plays. Why was it important at this stage of camp to do that?
Well, I probably won't do it on the last scrimmage, and we did it a little bit of the other night with the 2s and the 3s. There's a lot of young guys that you got to see them tackle, and really as much as anything, you got to see the backs be hit. We got some guys that played. Obviously Charles McCullough and Ryan Montgomery played ball for us, have returned kicks, have had runs in live games. But the Miles Montgomerys and the Corey Kiners, Bird, you got to see those guys. I'm surely not going to wait till September 3rd to see how back handles the guy coming up there and hitting them. So it's twofold. It's not just for the defensive guys, but it's also for the offensive guys and taking care of the football. I think if you look at it, I think we were 5th in the country, or maybe 11th in the country overall, on offense and defense combined with the turnover ratio. I think we were 5 in the country on defense and 22nd in the country on offense. So it has been something, obviously, that we pride ourselves on and have been pretty good, and we can't give any ground to that.
You can correct me if I'm wrong. It feels like maybe the defense is a little bit ahead of the offense.
I think by nature that happens. I think when you're moving guys, especially in the offensive line, around, I think it makes it a little bit harder to kind of settle in offensively. Especially the way we play defensively, it's not as I'd say as normal maybe with the 4-down guys. So I think that makes it more difficult on the offense in general. I think even schematically, sometimes you wouldn't do some of the things to the defense that we have, but our offense has got to they got to continue to evolve. And so I think by nature, some of that does bode well for the defense. But I think more than anything, what we want to see offensively is having some consistency, and we need to get consistent with the guys that are going to be in there together. As well as consistency is taking care of the football, and there's a lot of those things that you can still do even though you're not worried about game plan wise. But we've got to find ways to make those plays down the field and some big plays.
Schematically, defensively, last year you were so good at what you did, you didn't have to mix it up. Is there a chance this year we see more variety?
There could be. Even depending upon how much we can get and create havoc, whether it's with 3 guys, with 4 guys, with 5 guys. And we were unique last year, I think, in some ways, not just because of Majay, but the ability to create, even sometimes with just 3 guys, some havoc. And then that's where we got to figure out what us is. Yes, we're still going to be who we are. We're still going to be on guys. We're still going to play man coverage. But I think by nature, we got to, continue to evolve and figure out how us can be better than what it was.
Has the pace been so good that you're just having to find a way, make sure?
No, yeah. I think the thing that we've got to be able to, just like Deshaun Pace and Ty, they're both at the same position. And I know some people would say you got to have your guys on the field, but I think for us in particular that I think we're so good at those positions because you got more than one guy that can play. And we'll find other ways to get those guys in the field, but I think that's why they were so good even at the end of the year. And you got Ivan who's doing a great job, and you got Jaheim who's doing a great job. I think it's going to give us a heck of a 1-2 punch. And I know you got to. It's always who's going to be the starter. Well, you know what? We could have 14, 13 starters in some way, shape, or form. And,
I think that's a flag.
They might not all be out there at the same time, but I think that some way, somehow, that's what you're looking for, and and you can keep those guys fresh.
Where's the quarterback battle stand 3 weeks from the opener, and what did each guy do today?
Well, Ben hadn't been in a whole lot the last couple of days, so I wouldn't say he was a little rusty, but he hadn't had as many opportunities. I think he was really efficient today. I think at the end there that Evan came on and made some plays down the field, which is what you want to see. Every one of our, I think 88% of our touchdown drives last year had an explosive play, something of a plus 20. And if we can't find ways to create those, then it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. So I think both of them, found some ways to create some of those plays down the field. I think Evans was a little bit later, maybe Benz was a little bit earlier in some. But it's always kind of unique to who you're running with too. And so we're going to continue to evaluate. I think that for us in particular, to figure out how we continue to move forward, we're going to have to the next week or so kind of find out how that offense is going to go and who's going to go around.
How heavily will performances today factor into that?
They all every performance factors into that. Performance in the meeting room, performance in warm-up, I mean everything, especially at that position, just because there's so many more things than just throwing the football and handing the football off. You got to have people that are going to follow you. And the dynamics of that is uniquely different with each guy.
Obviously, we all saw what Desmond could be in his time here. I mean, that's no secret. But when you look back to years ago when he was competing for that starting job, what was it about him at that time that made you pull the trigger and be like, this is our guy?
Everybody says that it factor, but there is an it factor. You don't always know what it is, but you just see that guy with that competitive spirit that some way, somehow finds a way. And if that means running the football, if that means throwing the football, whatever that is, I think that any of the ones maybe that saw his first game last night also recognize, okay, winners win. And obviously, as other guys will tell you, you got to have an opportunity to be in there to show that you can win. But it's unique that every single day you see those things. I'm not saying we don't see them from guys. Everybody's a little bit different. I'm not trying to be someone to beat Desmond Ritter. We're not trying to have somebody be Kobe Bryant or Ahmad Gardner. We got to be us. But what us is an incredible expectation. And whatever that is, we got to find it.
Some fun was it watching all those guys last night?
I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but
you were busy.
It's a good break for our guys too. I think that just another one of those things that reiterate. We don't want to dwell upon it. They don't want to covet what they have, but it's awesome for those guys to see, especially the ones that have been here and know maybe even where some of those guys have come from, whether it's a Darren Beavers or even an Alec Pierce or even Dez. I mean, some of those guys saw Dez in year 1 and year 2, and I'm sure that there wasn't a whole lot of talk about playing at the next level. And for us, I think that's just a part of what the process looks like.
Did you have a secret formula for these scrimmages? Did you have
Not today.
No?
Not today. No, not today. It'll be our last one, the second one. Today was different in the sense that I wanted it to be like a game. We treated this morning like a game. We treated the travel like a game. Not that I told them all that, other than, hey, you got to get yourself ready. Even the pregame was more like a game warm-up, just because we got to figure out how some of these younger guys and even older guys that haven't played as much, how they really handle even the time and the different things that they have to focus on a game day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.